All right, so this video is about Seattle's housing prices and the fact that they have dropped really quickly. Now, this is this is early, so I haven't even had coffee yet, so I'm giving you guys a rare treat. But I wanted to cover this so that because I have a lot of stuff the rest of the day to do. But saw recently in the local newspaper that the price for homes in Seattle have dropped drastically. Now, I remember not long ago apartments basically having to scale back their price increases because there was such a glut of apartments that had been coming online from all the new projects that have been built in the last couple of years. And so those new apartments were actually being absorbed, right? And then it got to a point where those were no longer being absorbed. And so those new apartment buildings were starting to lower their prices. Now, still, we're talking a lot of money a month, right? You're still going to be looking at $1,800 a month or more. But a lot of these newer ones were starting to lower their prices to fill their empty units. Well, then some of the older ones were also starting to lower their prices some or not increase their apartments, which they typically usually do. Now, this is in Seattle proper itself. And so now that has trickled down to the homes. You know, it used to be that homes would sit on the market and literally within about a week at the most, if it was priced the way it should have been, homes were gone, right? There were bidding wars and things like that. And still, homes in Seattle are very expensive. So don't think that, now it's perfect because they're affordable. They're still very expensive. I mean, they're no longer in the 700 range on average. They are a little under that, but still, they're over $500,000, right? For your average typical home that is move-in ready, that doesn't have any issues, really, that you can tell it looks modern, that type of thing. That's what we're talking about, right? Not the fixer-upper. So homes dropped by $70,000, right, on average, just recently in King County, mostly in Seattle. In other places, they dropped even more. Okay. Now in Bellevue, different story. They've actually increased and jumped in most of Bellevue. In the trendier areas of Bellevue, it's actually increased dramatically. But in Seattle, it has dropped by $70,000. Now, that means that a lot of people who have been selling their homes are now basically having to hold off because no one's going to really buy it. And there's many reasons why people are lowering their prices. One, I don't think that the housing market is necessarily cooling off to the point of where no one's moving in. I think what the situation is that there's a lot of people moving to different areas of the different areas. You know, King County is very expensive. And when you look at the cities in King County, all of those cities, housing prices are very expensive. They're a little bit bloated. So a lot of the people are moving to Pierce County, Kitsap County, and other places because the home prices are a lot more affordable. Most people in this entire country cannot afford a home that's $500,000. Just most people can't. And then the taxes that come with that. So a lot of that is due to people moving down here. So now home prices in Tacoma went down too, but they only went down by a few $1,000s, not 70,000 like they did in Seattle. They went down by a few thousand, but Tacoma has a long way to catch up. The home prices here are still like in the middle 360s, lower to mid 360s. And you have homes in other areas here that are just a little bit above that. But in Seattle, it's still very high. So if you wanted to buy a house now, you might want to wait a little bit. Prices might go down a little bit more, or they may shoot back up. This time of year, prices typically go down anyway. Spring is when they start to go back up. But anyhow, for now, the prices in Seattle are down on average 70,000 or more or less in certain areas. So hope you guys enjoyed this short video. Hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. Until next time, I will see you. Take care.